Hey everyone, it's Rogue Rage from Final Turn and Team Ugh, here with a standard deck profile, first standard deck profile on the channel. This is the deck that I actually used at the ARG Circuit Series in Philly. I didn't have my invite for Nationals, so I had planned on doing the Premier Circuit Series and Standard Circuit Series. The Premier one never fired off just due to lack of interest in the format.
Players.
Yeah, three
we
players.
We were all playing in the Invitational anyways.
Shout outs to Santana, Jason, and Andre. Sorry, had a mental block.
Wow, you almost forgot my name.
Had a mental block. Shout outs to them. There was 4 Team Ugh members playing this weekend, Vanguard in total. Those 3 got their top 32 in Nats and got their invites for next year. I got my top 8 at the Standard Circuit Series. Yeah, so everyone in Team Ugh got their invites for next year's Invitational, so that's pretty exciting. So let's get into the deck profile. I ran Spike Brothers. As standard is 4 force markers.
I can't believe he ended
force markers.
I can't believe he ended up like splurging for those black force markers.
Yes, they were totally worth it. So let's get into the deck. My starter is Mecha Trainer, standard, draw a card when ready upon.
You don't really have much else of an option, unfortunately, in standard.
Nope. I run 4 of the draw trigger PGs. That was one of the weirdest things to get used to while playing standard. Is the fact that you want those draw triggers, you want those PGs. But I'm happy we got them.
Opens up so much grade 1 space.
Run 4 heal triggers because you need 4 heal triggers. This was a nice part that actually caught Andre off guard. We played each other in the 5th round, and that's how I beat him. He wasn't expecting crits. I run 8 crits. He was expecting the... Ooh, that's real messy.
So yeah, actually walk me through this. A lot of standard deck, Spike Brothers profiles run a little more draws than you do.
Yep.
So why did you decide to go with 8 crits in the end?
It just fits with my playstyle. I like the rush. It actually helped me a lot when in two of my matches. My first 2 matches were the mirror match. Both went to game 2. After I took game 1, I was going second, and not only was I going second, but I was grade locked on grade 2 both games. Did a G assist, ran the rush down. Having the 8 crits really helped with that. Ended up winning on grade 2 just by flooding the field with the.
Do you think you ever want to run a little more draws in the future, or keep the 8 crits?
No, because the deck itself has a pretty good Early game. It does form some pretty good hand advantage with Gary Gannon and whatnot, just because...
I gotta stop letting that thing hit, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. It's a matter of, do I want to let it hit or not? This is my one tech up for the deck. The deck itself doesn't really have a lot, doesn't run techs just because of the nature of needing playsets, since you're recycling your cards into soul, into deck. So you need those playsets. So you have room for 1 tech. I ran 1 white tight end. That's how I like my women.
The white tight end.
That's how I like my women. I'm honestly going to get rid of him for a grade 3 just because at 8, I got grade locked a lot more than I would have liked to. But this guy still is on rear guard when he attacks a Vanguard. Or when he attacks, he gets plus 10k if you have 4 more rear guards. Didn't really use him much. Like I said, it was just attack. See if it did anything for me. Gonna switch that probably to Unite Attacker just so I get those force markers and potential finisher for cheesy finishes. I run 4 Commander Gary Gannon. This guy's great. He's absolutely great, and he's another reason why I feel like I didn't suffer from not running enough, or not enough, but more draw triggers. Just because on hit, when he attacks, if he's boosting the unit that hits, you get to put him into soul, build up that soul, and draw 2, and you get to draw any your top 2, and then you put them in hand, and then you choose any card from your hand. So maybe you got really two really good draws, and you put a card on the bottom of the deck.
I gotta stop letting that thing hit.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially like behind Siegfried, that's an unbelievable amount of pressure.
Yep, it's great. Then I run 4 Gyro Slinger. I really like this card too. His skill is when he's placed on Vanguard or rear guard, you put a card into your soul. You look at the top. Okay, so I don't know how to word it, but based on your grade, you look at that. The grade you're at, you look at that number top of the deck.
So
if
you're
at
grade 1,
you
get
look at the
1.
first one. Grade 2,
you get 2,
etc., etc.
So
he's really not great. He's great for putting up an early game rush if you can. I use them a lot. Opponents weren't happy when I would flood the field. He's actually what helped me win those grade log games. So, no complaints. Oh, and he also gives him 5K after. I run 4 Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy is another really good card in the deck because he helps recycle stuff. So lack of draw triggers, just pop them right back into the deck if you see them. And you're damaged and you end up healing them. There's just a lot of possibilities. So his skill is when he's placed on the rear guard, you put one non-grade 1 unit other than Wonder Boy. So from your drop zone and onto the bottom of your deck. So he puts a lot of triggers back in the deck, which is nice. And when you pop that skill off, he gets plus 5K. And his other skill is, oh gosh, at the beginning of your main phase, you can put him into your soul and recycle him, get another one.
It also shuffles the deck. That's interesting.
Yep, which is nice. It's really nice to get the shuffle of the deck, just because with all the stuff going on the bottom of your deck, sometimes it gets too stagnant. Even though you're thinning, you're getting stuff straight to the bottom. Gyro Slinger's grade 2 counterpart, which I think is a much better card. This card's just great. Just all around great. I'd run him at 8 if I could. Spike Bouncer, when he's placed on the vanguard or rear guard circle, so like he's really good for putting up grade 2 rushes to start the game, especially since I run that 8 crit. You counterblast 1, soul blast 1, you look at the top related number to your vanguard and you place 1, and after he attacks, you could counterblast 1 and put him into your soul, and you draw a card. So he helps build up that soul, helps build up that hand advantage, and helps build up early game rush.
Do you think this would be the preferred grade 2 ride of the deck?
I love riding him on grade 2.
Because there's not really much else utility you get from riding the next grade 2s you're running.
No. High speed Bracky, main phase, sorry, first of all, when he's placed, he gets plus 10K. Main phase, put him into your deck, search another copy, bam, another plus 10K when he's placed. So, like I said, the deck is really good at recycling itself. But Spike Bouncer is absolutely the optimal ride because he ends up being a pretty shitty ride. This is another really good grade 2. He's really good late game, just because he pushes for those really good numbers. If you got force markers under him, if you hit triggers, Treasure Black Panther. When he attacks, you could Soul Blast 1. It's a rear guard skill. You could choose to get 5K, or you can choose to get 15K. If you choose to get the 15K, you got to put him in your soul after. So like I said, late game push. Once you're hitting with those big columns and those beefy columns, it's great. What I like doing was attacking with him, getting the 5K, swinging with Siegfried, hitting with Siegfried, standing him back up, hitting with the big column. Boom. Just lots of good pressure. He also helped a lot with those grade 2 rushes when I was grade locked. Onto the grade 3s. I run 4 Juggernaut Maximum. Juggernaut Maximum is actually a pretty good card, but a really shitty Vanguard to sit on. Because you want him to cycle in and out of the deck. When he's placed, he gets plus 10K, which is great, because he becomes a 23K attacker when he's placed, which is why you want to run those rear guards. I mean, he's not the worst ride. Actually, one of the games that I did win, I was stuck on him and was just able to put up a really good rush.
So, how do you change the way you play when you're stuck on this guy on the Vanguard as opposed to Siegfried?
With Siegfried, you want to put that landing pressure. With him, you're just flooding your field as much as you can with your other resources.
Like Spike Bouncer,
and Gyro Slinger, Gary Cannon. So you're just, shuffling, you're cycling through your hand in the deck, your Wonder
Until
Boy.
You can get eventually that safe.
And because you get the Wonder Boys and the Brackies, those are great. His skill at the beginning of your main phase, if he's on the rear guard, you got to put him in your soul and search out another copy. So think the Wonder Boy and Bracky. So that's what ends up being nice, because even though he's not a great Vanguard, the rest of the deck picks up the slack for him.
He also gives you a force marker, so it's not awful.
Exactly. I will be running one United Attacker. I'll be taking it out, that white tight end when I get home. Best grade 3 in the game. Well, okay, not the game, but General Siegfried, sorry. His skill, he gets the force marker. Counterblast 1 and put a rear guard into your soul. Then you search out that rear guard, give him 10K, and give him 10K. So it's really good when you use it for a unit that's already got a force marker under it or whatnot. And he also is nice when you use that skill because you end up not having to boost him with anything. Late game, I do boost him with stuff just to get those really good columns.
Most importantly, he becomes 23, which
exactly.
can hit force Vanguards for 15K guard.
And when when his attack hits, you get to Soul Blast 2, and because everything's cycling in and out of your soul, you usually have a pretty good soul, and you stand one of your rear guards, so that's what I like doing with the Black Panther and whatnot. And then afterwards, after you stand it, you get to retire one of your opponent's rear guard. And since we're in a format with no resist, it's great. There's not much else to say about the deck.
It's also interesting to note this isn't once per turn. Did you ever find yourself using it more than one time per turn?
I personally didn't. I had an opponent my first round who ended up stacking it like crazy, wasted all his counterblast on me, and I ended up PGing it, which was great. Yeah, he used 3 counterblasts to try and build up a field against me, and just PG'd it.
Yeah.
He didn't hit a trigger. It was a waste of his resources. He was at 4 anyway, so he was trying to go for game, which I understand. So it is what it is. Yeah.
Overall, I guess thoughts on the format. How do you feel about Standard as a whole?
Standard as a whole. Oh boy. Standard as a whole. I think it's alright so far. It's alright. It's nostalgic for me just because I've been playing since Reverse Units came out, but getting some of the stuff I might not have gotten to play, like the Spike Brothers, I kind of missed them the first time around.
Yeah, it is really nice that I think a lot of the things are cheaper now.
Yeah, I built them when they were already kind of irrelevant, which was kind of shitty. They were a throw deck, kind of, cheesy rogue pick that might get you some wins, might steal some wins from the meta. As a whole, I feel like it's almost like Vanguard Lite, Lite, like those free app trials that you get on the Apple Store. Because I'm not saying it doesn't take the same amount of skill and thought as Premium, but it's a different mindset altogether. It's a much quicker game. It feels like it's pure Vanguard before all the broken shit happened. I personally enjoyed Premium more, to be frank. I'll be playing more Standard just because that seems to be what people prefer to play.
And also, when it seems like Bushiroad is
pushing Standard,
targeting its support too.
But I personally will always enjoy Premium more. Other than that, shoutouts to Jim and ARG as a whole. Great company. I know they get a lot of shit from like the Yu-Gi-Oh community and the DBS community and even sometimes the Vanguard community, but for the most part, it was just a great weekend, great event. The competition level at the ARG Circuit Series, even though there was only 20 of us, was probably the hardest one that or 21 of us, was the hardest ARG event that I've played in, actually.
Because most of us played in Nats.
Yeah, since I haven't gotten an invite to Nats, I don't know the Nats level, but this was pretty much Nats level just because it was everyone who didn't top 16 the day before. So it was a lot of the top 32 players that just played. And it was definitely a tough event. Like I said, only 21 people. Toughest one I've been to, though. So I was pretty impressed with that. Can't wait till Nats next year.
I guess before you go, what's this deck's hardest matchups, easier matchups?
My hardest matchup so far, in the tournament, first 2 rounds, I saw Spike Brothers beat those. Then I saw Kagero, got crit sacked, got luck sacked. It's whatever. I didn't really find the Kagero matchup too hard, to be honest.
Because like a lot of your stuff goes into Soul.
Exactly.
And
so they're not able to plus off of my field. Then I faced you with the Royals. I really don't find the Royal matchup too hard. It is a 50-50 sort of. Mm-hmm. But I'd say the hardest matchup so far has been against Tachikazes and OTT. Just because Tachikaze gets those Excel and front triggers, those Excel markers and those front triggers, and they just put up good columns in general.
You can also plus a ton too off those gauges.
So while I'm whittling away their hand, they're able to build it up pretty well. Same with OTT.
Yeah, OTT is just ridiculous, to be honest.
Yeah. I really haven't played Bugs yet, so I'm excited to play Bugs with that. Other than that, thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content.